Welcome to the Kindness Kangaroo Library. I'm author Sandra Wilson, and this is a Storytime Lesson. Now, this isn't a Storytime session. We're not actually reading any stories today because our lessons are going to inspire us to write a story of our own. And from now until Halloween, the lessons will focus on spooky stories, inspired by my latest book, Spooky Stories and How to Write Them, now available on Amazon. And I'll put a link below in the details section so you can pick up the book yourself. This book is filled with lessons and practice ideas to help get you started to create a spooky story. So these videos give you a little bit insight into that and a little bit of practice to get you started and excited about writing a spooky story. Now, when we think about writing a story, we need to think about the three main elements in a story: the character, the setting, or where it takes place, and the situation, the scenario, the whole story aspect of the story, what it's about. Now, when we're writing a spooky story, we really only need one of these elements to be spooky. We have a spooky character, or a spooky setting, or whatever happens is the spooky part. You don't need all three to be spooky. But for the purpose of these videos, we're going to focus on creating a spooky character, creating a spooky setting, creating a spooky situation. But then in the final video, when we put it all together, you only need to pick one of those things to work into your story itself. And we'll talk a little bit about that later as well. So let's start with character. Let's create a spooky character. Where do we start? Well, let's start with characters who we're already familiar with. So if we like spooky stories, we know that there are a lot of different spooky characters. Monsters, ghosts, wild animals, witches, pirates, dragons, and more. So I want you to think of your favorite spooky story and pick one of those characters from that story. Now I want you to create a list of what makes that character scary. What makes that character spooky in that story? So let's think of, say, a ghost. So ghosts maybe howl or rattle chains, disappear and reappear, come at night and wake you up. So all these things make that character spooky. So make a list of using your favorite spooky character of all the things that make that character spooky. Now put aside your favorite character and just look at that list of what makes that character spooky and see if you can apply those spooky ideas to a character of your own. Now remember, when we're using an idea from someone else's book, their character, we can't copy what they have created. That's their creation. They own that. That's their character. But what we can do is be inspired by those ideas to inspire some ideas of our own. So using the ideas, for example, of the ghost. Well, the ghost will wake you up at night and kind of startle you. So what other character could we create that would startle us at night? Maybe it's a monster under the bed. Maybe it's a skeleton hiding in the closet. Maybe it's something in our dream world that can scare us, that chases us or something like that. So think of those ideas of what creates that spooky character that you've written down based on your favorite spooky character, and figure out how you can apply that to your own spooky character. What kind of spooky character are you going to create? Is it going to be a monstrous character, or is it going to be one more like the pirate that, maybe has not a great personality and can be very scary because of their meanness or their loudness? So think of those ideas, those attributes of a spooky character, and create a spooky character of your own. So that gives you some good practice, and you're well on your way to creating a spooky story. So I hope you join us next time for our next video where we go further into writing our spooky story.